Reseller Clickbait Podcast, episode 94.
Good morning, Ken.
Happy Easter, Cory.
Happy Easter back at you.
Got my Easter Bunny official. Does that say, official Easter Bunny official hat on today? So it is.
This is why you don't believe everything you see on the internet.
Exactly. This is what, not only am I the seasonal Santa, I'm also the official Easter Bunny, apparently.
Easter Bunny.
By this, look, that's fun right there.
That is a great hat.
So, yeah, we're actually recording a day early here because of Easter is tomorrow. We usually record on Sundays, and Easter's tomorrow, and you got family stuff that you're doing, and I got family stuff that I'm doing, and so
we got to go see the grandkids for Easter.
The whole time. Did you color any eggs? Did you color any Easter eggs?
No. I know the kids did, so we didn't have to. They've got all that ready. We did make some Easter baskets up. So we did.
Cool.
We did participate in the festivities. I'm more looking forward to the ham.
Oh, yes. I mean, really, you got to really look at what's important. So this is grandbaby's first Easter?
Both grandbaby's first Easter.
Yep. That's cool. Because I remember you were talking about it was their first Christmas, and that was exciting. Of course, they're too young to hunt eggs and
Yeah,
really
but they're
enjoy.
just the perfect age to traumatize their parents. See, while they're hiding eggs, we're going to go hide the grandbabies.
That is goofy. But I colored eggs. I colored eggs the other day with my aunt and my mother. We were so here. I'm going to throw up this picture here, Cory. You see if you can guess which one I colored. And there,
I have a hunch.
I know. If it in the chat there, or not in the chat. Why do I always call it the chat? In the comments, guess which egg.
You're used to doing those live shows.
I am, for sure. So, Cory Grams and Pops, Ken SSKPromo. Sometimes I forget to introduce who we are.
Well, we got name tags just in case.
Oh, yeah. I got my new name from last week. Forsythia Smith. Yes.
I did look those flowers up. It's funny because you find a couple of different explanations of what they are. Some sites actually say they're a pretty flowering yellow thing that flowers early, and some things say they're like a weed that's just takes over everything. So depends on where you find the definition.
Jill has a big, huge forsythia bush, like in her side yard off the side of her driveway. And they are, when they flower out, like all yellowy, it's a pretty nice looking tree, but it's that whole 3 snows after the forsythia bloom, which the word I was looking for was, well, I said it was like some wives' tale or some, the folklore, like, I don't know, folklore. My cousin Susan.
Well, it's in the Farmer's Almanac. That's where I found, when I looked it up. Yeah, that's what I found. I found references to it in the Farmer's Almanac. So it's apparently a pretty widely held.
It must be
wives' tale.
A thing. Well, and can you see, after, Ken complains about winter all the time, it's why I don't care for the forsythia bush. Even if it's a beautiful, nice looking plant. Nope.
Well, no, you're looking at it wrong, though. I have figured out a loophole, if you would.
Okay.
Bring the plant inside and get it to bloom in like the first week of winter.
Well, that's
then you only have 3 snows left.
Oh, well, that's okay. See? That's a good idea. So now what's it going to snow in my living room if I bring it inside?
It might, but only 3 times.
I tell you what, it's never going to snow in my living room as high as I keep the heat in here all the time, Definitely not in the bedroom with the hot pocket and all of that stuff. So
but that's a different direction.
What did I just there it is. Anyway. But happy Easter to everyone here. Let me change this. I might put this background back up. I want to change out because I
didn't mind the background.
I might throw that back up here in a minute. Because I did want to kind of bring up something a little serious. I don't know how to address it. And we had like
ominous.
We had like a 40-minute conversation before we started to record, and I didn't know, and we didn't talk yesterday, and I didn't know.
Are we breaking
how
up?
to say it? Well, it's I honestly wanted to make it to at least 100 episodes, but
I got tissues here. Hold on.
All
right,
yeah,
lay it on me.
This will, just with some things, going on and stuff, this will be my last episode with you, Cory. I hopefully that the show can go on, take over,
no, we're
maybe
closing
find a
this
co-host,
down.
maybe have a hiatus or whatever. But and I don't know. I thought maybe the natural reaction of me, bringing that up on the air would be kind of.
Do we have to finish
the
today?
way to go with it?
Last time I gave a 2-week notice,
today.
They said just go ahead and go home. Is that one of these things? We just
yeah, you're gonna walk me to my desk and pick up my microphone. Oh, Cory, yep, there, Cory's gone. Well, no, actually, it was.
Ken's gone. Ken has quit. All right,
but so I hated to bring it up like this, but I wanted to give you the natural reaction. This would be like a 10-minute show
without you.
Pretty much. Here's Cory. What do you got for today? But
it'd just be a shorts channel. It's been
my pleasure. I've enjoyed doing the show for almost a couple of years now, and I probably should stick it out for six more episodes at least to get to 100. But I don't think, again,
you
with
like
stuff
those
going
even
on.
Numbers?
Yeah, I do. It's just like it's what we were talking about, the heat in my house. I am never oddly warm. Okay. And what I mean by that is I never set the temperature or the thermostat in my house to an odd number. I'm never going to set it to 69 degrees or 73 degrees.
That's an OCD issue for me too. It's TV, the volume on the TV, 17 doesn't exist. It has to be 16 or 18 or an even number. Yeah, I get that.
So, but yeah, we will finish out this episode because we had, some stuff that we were kind of in the middle of a 3-part topic, which might end up just being a 2-part topic.
Hey, you're on your own for the rest of it.
Yes. So,
well, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, and I appreciate, we started here with on the Clickbait podcast with Jimmy Old School Flips, and built it up, and
I'm gonna need to see if Roman's free. I need somebody else that could carry your chat capabilities.
Somebody that can talk as much as I do.
We'll see if we can get Roman over here.
So, anyway, we can continue on, and we can also continue on.
Wait a minute. What do you mean?
Well, we got to do.
You gotta give me a little closure here.
Well, we'll close at the end, I guess.
I'm assuming that was a joke, but maybe not.
Well, it actually, I've been busy doing some stuff, getting some stuff. I'm going to talk about that with I did my first Whatnot show the other day, so I didn't have time to really prepare something because this episode comes out Monday, April 1st.
Day after Easter. Oh, April I see 1st. What you're doing here. I see what you're doing here. Well, now I quit.
So just a little, maybe I roped a couple of people in there on that.
Well, I wasn't sure, and I could usually read your jokes pretty well, but I wasn't sure either.
It was just a little tomfoolery.
Hold on,
if you will.
I got to text Roman back and tell him I was kidding.
We should get Roman on as a guest, is what we should do. Boy, we should get Roman on as a guest, and then Cory will just put you up in the corner someplace, because I'm pretty sure you're never going to get to say anything.
Roman's pulling the big celebs over there. Did you see who he's got for a guest coming up tonight? I think the night we're recording this. I think he got Andy Sometta on.
That's going to be
nobody. That's going to be. That's a tough booking.
A great show. I love Andy Sometta. He's just his comments, his wit that he has, his quick fire wit and stuff. Whenever he's in a chat, it's just fun.
It's going to be like seeing Bigfoot, because I've been seeing Andy Sometta in comments for 2 years now, and I don't think I've ever seen his face. Like, no,
Yeah, he
I don't
hasn't
know if
made any
anybody's ever seen his
content.
face.
Well, he used to make some content. He hasn't for a while. Because here recently I was looking through and it's like, oh, I need to sub this channel. I subbed this channel and he hasn't been around for making any content for a while. So it'll be interesting to watch that. I always watch Roman on Saturday
how he's
nights.
gonna
Anytime
top this.
picker. The most unprofessional. Oh, maybe that's Roman's. Maybe that's Roman's April Fool's joke. Oh, I shouldn't say that. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe he doesn't really have Andy on.
If he pulls it off and gets Andy on, then really, I mean, I think we have to get Disgruntled Octopus on here without a mask.
Ooh.
But I don't know how you top what he's got going on
I'll have to, you know, I can push a few buttons here and there and you know, I got contacts.
We don't actually have to get him on without it. Like, we could just pick any Australian and say it's him. Nobody's going to know.
Yeah. As long as that's not like Mel back from Burnout, I don't think people would buy into that she could disguise her voice that well. But yeah, just a little silliness. So let's go back to some fun festiveness here. Oh, and then we'll do this too while we're at it. I got these as
all
well.
kinds of bunny ears. It's the sound that gets me.
I wonder if these will fit with my hat on. I didn't even try that.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
They're even better with the hat. Oh, those are like little air puff things, aren't they?
Yeah, on the you know, get your thing.
Welcome to the Reseller Clickbait Podcast Special Ed Edition.
So that's just some silliness there, just some fun.
I like it.
Yeah, it's been a busy. I'll take those off right now. But we'll leave the festive Easter background up there. I like it.
It is a good background.
Easter is coming up. So yeah, busy week for sure. I don't know. Boy, I did notice the big hubbub in the reselling community. Seemed to be, man, people. Yeah, there was. Did you see people like actually lost their shit about Macari's announcement about their new policies? Now, I don't sell on Macari, and I don't want to pass along misinformation because I really don't know, but I saw a ton of people posting stuff that they're going to have like zero seller fees, and that's of course how they lead with. Macari leads with their. It's like when you get the eBay, like the eBay quarterly update
Macari.
or whatever. And
how do you say that right?
Yeah.
Is it Macari or Mercari? It's spelled Mercari, M-E-R. Mercari.
I get Macari. I guess I almost it would be spelled like M-A-C-A Macari. I don't say Mercari. I don't know.
M-E-R.
M-E-R-C-A-R-I. But I'm not selling, on that platform, and they come out zero seller fees. But apparently, there's some stuff that they're going to start. I don't want to pass along misinformation. But they're going to pass along some of those fees to the buyers. Then
they did,
and then they're also going to start charging you to get your money from them.
They did that
something like there's a fee for that, and I think there were some other changes that went along with it. I honestly don't know much about it, much more than I scrolled through my Instagram and it was people just, going nuts about it.
And a lot of heads exploding.
After it came
over
out,
nothing,
then,
really.
Yeah, you start to see then other people are maybe looking at it a little bit more logically, like, okay, I can see, some people will say, oh, I can see some benefits, or this really doesn't bother me because this is the way that I sell, or this is the way that I use the platform. But
I can't see it making, the only difference I can see it making for us, and we do sell on Macari recently, in the last month or so, we've listed a bunch of stuff over there from cross-posting and giving that a shot. The only thing I could see it making a big difference for us is we don't have to raise our prices when we're moving stuff from eBay to Macari now. We used to have to raise all our prices just to account for seller fees and the fact that everybody makes offers over there like you never sell anything at full price type of situation.
Gotcha.
So we would raise all our prices while we were pushing stuff over, and now we really don't have to do that. Matter of fact, we got the email that said, click this button and come over, we'll reduce all your prices by 10% to adjust for no fees. So we did that. And and we did make a sale over there like that afternoon, which is
really?
our very first Mercari sale ever.
Oh, really? Now, was it under the new guidelines?
It was. Yep.
You made the sale.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a platform. I'm going to wait for all the ripples in the pond to kind of calm down and see what people are really saying about how it's affected their business. Because cross posting and going down new avenues and just trying to do some different stuff rather than just being all straight eBay. Mercari would be one of the another avenues that I would go down. So
they're probably the second in line for us as far as a viable platform for the way we resell. They were probably second in line for us after eBay. Well, maybe third depending on Marketplace, but we don't really sell much except for local stuff on Marketplace. So for Mercari, especially when we decided we were going to try Vendoo as a cross-listing platform, we were going to give it a shot and see how it worked. Yeah. And spoiler alert, so far we're not impressed. But, I mean, it's got some good things, it's got some bad things, but right now I don't think it's going to make it long-term in our business as is. They're going to have to fix some stuff. But to see Mercari making changes, like one of their announcements is they're going to try and do a full import from eBay. Like they've got that in beta right now to where kind of like Bonanza, they could do a full import from your eBay shop, which I only think they're halfway there. Like maybe you get the import, but you don't get the sync. So it's not removing items from eBay. So I think they've got work to do, but it is encouraging to see a platform taking some big steps towards changing things. Yeah. Like I would love it if eBay came out and made an announcement of those kind of changes. Even if I don't agree with them all, it's great to see they have a team trying to make things better. Yeah.
A little bit of shake up and cause folks, they talk about eBay being like just this dinosaur, that's been around and there's all these other different platforms and different things to sell on. But all of these companies like, Vendoo or the cross listing and stuff, they wouldn't be trying to, or Mercari, they wouldn't be trying to build the platform to import your eBay listings over if eBay wasn't the juggernaut that it is, in the size. And so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, eBay is the standard. I think when it comes to any platform, eBay is still the standard. I mean, there are some spin-off platforms that do things completely different that eBay is. I would say eBay is way behind on in some directions. I mean, if you start looking at the districts and the whatnots and things that are actually doing selling differently, then I would say eBay is not necessarily the standard for them. But for most selling platforms, eBay's kind of the one they're comparing themselves to. Yeah, unfortunately, eBay doesn't take action the way Mercari just did. I would love to see them be that proactive.
Yeah. And, any minor change, people are going to just like explode. And like I say, you just kind of got to wait for all of it to work out in the end and see how it does. So I'll probably hold out a little bit, not necessarily just to see what shakes out, but because everybody knows how I am. I'm probably not going to do it anyway. So so far, all the positives
out there, like there's no seller fees. I think that's a positive.
But can you pass it along to the buyers? I've seen people arguing.
You don't pass anything.
The people don't want to pay the price. The buyers don't want to pay the prices anyway, and then now they're going to have an extra fee tacked on.
Well, there is extra fees in the receipt. I think there was 2 extra fees in the receipt. Yeah. When they bought this one off our item, I'd have to look, but that. I don't have a dog in the fight when it comes out. I don't care. As long as the customer's willing to come in and pay it, if sales happen, we might argue. Like, if the customers will let you know. If they're not willing to pay it, they'll stop buying. And if they stop buying, Mercari will make a change. Like, there is no more powerful voice than the customer's voice. So that I'm not worried about. That's a self-fixing whatever. The only con most people are griping about is speculation about what the customer is going to do, which as a seller, I don't care what the customer does. When we find out, we adjust. And I mean, that you can't avoid. But then the $2 withdrawal fee is something I've heard a lot of people complain about. And if you're doing a small enough amount of sales to where you're worried about a $2 withdrawal fee, then maybe that's not the platform for you.
Somebody had a breakdown of like what the fees actually meant. If you were selling, $200 worth, $2, whatever, 10% or whatever the numbers.
1%.
I don't math. That's like, I don't math. So, but yeah, I guess it depends on the size of your sales and how often you're taking. I don't know if you can, I don't know how Macari works. If you just take your money when you get it, or if there's a payout like eBay, like every week or every day, or.
I'm not familiar with that yet myself because we haven't had any money to pull out. But I do know if we're going to sell there, we intend to sell enough there to make it worth our while.
Yeah.
Otherwise it just complicates our processes as a whole, and it's not what we're doing. So we're gonna do it at a big enough scale to where it doesn't make a difference. Like that 1%, they're gonna give me 10% back and say we're not gonna take this 10% anymore. We're actually only gonna take 1% as a withdrawal fee.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll all shake out. And again, I can't really speak on the topic too well. Just I found it interesting. All of the different Instagram posts and YouTube shorts and TikToks and all the stuff that came along where people were just losing their mind.
I saw the import.
And,
I think the first thing we saw was the possibility of that import, the fact that it's in beta, and they actually have a page on that. So you could import everything from eBay. We saw that. And then we started looking into the other changes they made. And my first instinct was, way to go, Macari. Like, one, you're going to, if you do that import and that sync correctly, you're going to shut down the need for 80% of us to use Vendoo or anything like that, because it's going to be done just like Bonanza's been doing it forever, which is it's ridiculous. More platforms haven't figured it out. And then you cut the fees and make changes like this. I think that's 100% they're on the right track.
And again, for, eBay being like the standard, like you said, for at least the type of reselling that we do, going out, finding stuff, listing it, eBay's the platform to go to. I was hoping when you said eBay was, you would hope that eBay would make some changes and stuff like that. I wonder if they can make some changes just in my account, to get the buyers to actually start buying stuff again. Some of that, was self-inflicted with, not doing consistent listing and things of that nature. And, you get into slowdowns and any shortcomings or failures in my business, I guess a lot of them are more from my end than the buyers just not being there. Cause I know if I do all the steps and that's kind of one of the things that we're talking about in our kind of a three-part thing. What you talked about other platforms, I wanted to throw this out because it kind of goes along with where we're at. I did my first Whatnot show the other day.
I was there
yesterday, and man, that was fun. It was great. Jill and I did our first Whatnot show because she is in there helping me. She was selling off some of the items. She was doing a lot of the clothing things, and so we're going to do shows together. I'll do shows, independently, since she, has to drive it. It's not always as convenient for her to get here. But man, what a ton of fun that was.
I don't know. Jill was she kind of stole the show. I think she sold by far the most expensive item.
She did. And we had talked about that and joked a little bit about it beforehand of like who was going to do better. And it's like, it was no secret to me. I think I was betting on her and not her, she has a way of doing stuff and she did sell good, and so we kind of were able to trade off. I gave you a few minutes break because we were on for like almost 2 hours, or I think over 2 hours.
Yeah, I don't think it's a secret. I'm not a huge Whatnot fan. Never have been. I've always been kind of the opposite side of Whatnot. If Whatnot says jump, we duck. But it was a very fun show to watch. It's kind of like watching a live where you actually get to guarantee your name gets said because you get to buy something. And it's not true. None of the stuff is expensive, so you're not going in there buying a car.
Yeah,
you're bidding on stuff that's not terribly expensive. So it made the show easy to interact with.
Yeah,
and it made it really fun. And Jill's parts of the show I thought was some of my favorite parts because she's a good storyteller. Like Jill's a really good storyteller.
She is, and she can tell the story around the item. And that's fun. Where I'm just, hopefully, I thought you were going to say that.
What did that shirt she sold go for? Was it $50 or $60? It got up there.
No. I think it like maybe 35 or 39 or something.
I think it got higher than that.
Did it really?
I think it went above 40 when I saw it.
That's one of the things that I have to figure out too. When I being the first show and doing the setup for things and I did the first private show, which in my private show, I invited a few people just to kind of watch and see and Cory was like,
yeah,
my first tip, you can give people tips on whatnot, which is cool because all the tip money goes directly to you. First one came from Cory, and I appreciate that, my friend. And Jill was technically my first
purchase
on the show because she had bought an item just so that I could test like what the shipping and stuff was. But just really fun. I'm not going to go into a whole lot, but
it was a fun show.
I'm looking forward to using that platform to sell some more things, to have that fun interactive experience. And I got invited to do a raid show, which if you're watching this, it comes out on, so this is not an April Fool's joke, but it'll be Friday, this coming Friday, the 5th. They're doing, someone setting up this raid that's like raid across America or whatever, and it's broken down into like the West, the Midwest, the North and South, and it's basically a big, huge raid train. And I was appreciative to get invited after only, having done one show. I might try to do a show midweek, maybe in like a theme sort of an all plush or an all hats or an all video games or something like that, just to kind of have another show under my belt. But very fun. Looking forward to it. I do have the realistic expectations. I know the first show out, you get you invite everybody and you get your family and friends and other supporters that come in and watch and that they bought things and I got tips and stuff but just the chat too. When I did struggle at some things, the whatnot community is very helpful. Just, friends, strangers, everybody jumped in and said, hey, do this, push this, do that. And, even Paul, Philly Flipper came on. He's like, hey, I'll help you through that. Just bring me on the screen and we'll push this button and it's just like very cool to have that help in that community. And that's what I'm excited about. Again, I don't see it being my main platform, but I made a few dollars. I made a few dollars yesterday having fun for 2 hours. Jill and I doing something together. And a lot of the items were things that she brought that came from her, that was either from her basement or that she's doing a clean out, or things that she's, just bought over the years, personal items from her, things that I've had. So just really super fun. But
I did find it very difficult to remain a spectator in a show like Whatnot when the hosts like you and Jill are being engaging with the audience, when you're actually engaging well and you're making the connections. It's very hard to be a bystander. It's very hard not to get in there and bid on something or buy something or want to be involved in it, because it is a bit of an addicting platform. I could see where that would draw a lot of people in and be very addicting for people.
Yes.
So I guess what I'm saying is just say no to Whatnot.
I'm not just saying no.
No.
Well, yeah.
No, it was a lot of fun. It was a cool show.
That presentation. What I need to learn a little bit too, because it really bothered me that the chat and I forget how many people were in there total, but it was very well attended for me anyway for a first show. But man, that chat goes by so quick, and you're trying to I need to figure out where to look, because I have my phone that I'm kind of running the show on the phone, but I also had a computer right down below that where I could run things, and it's like, what screen do I look at?
And you had Jill. Jill was in the background answering chat too, which helped.
Yes. Yeah. And
so I can't imagine doing that solo. There was a lot going on to try and keep up with chat and sales and giveaways and everything you were doing. If you were doing that solo, that'd be a difficult job. Anybody that's doing that by themselves, they're earning their money.
Yes, they are. And there was, a lot of setup to it. Being the first show, a lot of stuff to learn, a lot of stuff to, if you took the amount of hours that I took to set up the show, to actually run the show, and the amount of time that it took to pack everything. Because I ended up, I sold like 55 items, which I thought was great for the first show. And I only actually had 3 items that I ran that didn't get any bids, which is cool. You know,
technically you ran one item twice that didn't get any bids.
I did that too. And that's there again, that's part of me. But it's like
that was actually a fun part of the show.
Jill's not watching because then she, she's kind of managing the chat and, talking to people and throwing in the, extra comments. I got to figure out where to look, what screen, what's going to be the best place, especially if I'm doing it by myself. Because I like to engage when I'm in a Whatnot show too. I like to engage in the chat. I want to see what people are saying. I want to be able to say hi to all the people, a lot of familiar names that were in there, but probably equally as many new names that I've never seen before that, how they found the show. I assume, just scrolling through Whatnot, seeing who was on right there at that point. And, but very fun, very fun. I had a great time. Jill had a great time. We're looking forward to doing that. And then being on that raid train next Friday. I have to figure out what I got to do to schedule that and stuff. But anyway,
it'll be interesting to see where it goes for you guys. Cause I think you guys did really well. And I think definitely with both of you on there, it was very engaging. Like you kept the audience drawn in. I think through the whole thing, I mean, the audience fluctuated a little bit, but you kind of kept 20, 30 people in there through the entire show, which is most Whatnot shows I've peeked into. They start out at like 20 people, and then by the end, there's like 6. Yeah. So you guys did really, really well keeping people in there.
It was, and so after the show was over, we both just kind of, because it was a frenzy of activity trying to get, stuff finished as far as setup. Literally, it's like I'm still trying to enter stuff and things, and it's like I run in the house and I change out my shirt and hat and stuff like that. When I got back in front of the computer, I had 17 seconds until the show was to start, and it was like, that's how frenzied it was up to the point. On a day-to-day basis, the number of hours that I spent before and after and shipping, did that equate properly to the amount of sales that I have? Probably not on a day-to-day business model to do, but for the first show, it was fun. We got done with it,
you did well.
And it was like we kind of came in the house and just like plopped down on the comfy furniture because I'd been standing there for 2 hours, and it's just like we just kind of debriefing with one another, what was cool, what was neat, what was fun, and just almost like you get all that anxiety and that apprehension about the first show, and it was like, whew, okay, I'm glad that's over. And then
I know that feeling.
Almost followed immediately by
packing.
Okay, when can we do? Well, no, when can we do the next one? It's like, man, I'm glad that whole thing's over. It's like, okay, and then start talking about ideas. But in the Whatnot thing, you have multiple buyers. So I sold 55 items to 25 different buyers.
Yep.
So it wasn't like I had to pack 55 things. And much appreciated everybody that bought from a single item, from a tip, to whatever, just to support me. And I do realize, hopefully, I would love to have a show like that every time. But I do know that your first shows and stuff are usually well attended with family and friends, and people want to help support what you're doing. And Jill calls them pity buys. Sometimes people might buy something just because it's not running or it's not going to sell. They might buy something. But I think I brought some decent stuff, and we got tons more good stuff to do. But I do keep in mind that the next show, those 6 people might show up, or going forward, it might be hey, we supported Ken, but he's just really not our Whatnot guy. So anyway, enough of that. That was very fun, and I appreciate you, Cory, watching the show, hanging out, being in the chat, and
no more pity buys for me. That's over.
For your purchase, that's right. Yeah, Cory, threw a couple bucks, got into that wallet, and gave me a few bucks there. But thank you
to come support.
Again. I'll throw it out here. I can't express enough, how much I appreciate everybody in that. But that I'm going to go towards our topic here, because We're already like 40 minutes in, Cory. We haven't even started anything on the topic.
We didn't really want to have a topic. Do we just want to save
didn't.
the topic for non-Easter Day?
Well,
we just won't do a
that.
topic today? What else should we do?
That. We could pick it up.
How do you feel about bonsai trees?
I think they take a lot of maintenance if you really want to keep them. And my only experience with bonsai trees is through Mr. Miyagi.
Me too.
Sometimes you have to climb up the side of a cliff. When you're in
do what you gotta do.
Mainland China or wherever the hell he's from, Japan. Where was Mr. Miyagi from? Was he Japanese or he's Japanese?
Taiwan.
Right?
What is it? He was. Yeah, I think he was Japanese.
I don't know.
Hiroshima.
If you know, throw it in the
I don't know.
Throw it in the chat. That would be Japanese. But yeah, you have to climb up on the side of a cliff, and you cut them. I don't think you can buy them.
There we go. He was from Okinawa.
This is true. Okay.
He was Japanese then. The reason I ask is because in the last couple of years, I've been kind of collecting plants at garage sales. I've kind of grown a green thumb a little bit.
Okay. So live, you're buying live plants
at garage sales. Yes.
Okay. All right. This is interesting.
So we've gotten a pretty good collection going in the living room, and some of them get pretty big. Now there's one of them, and I don't know what it is. It's just a plant. I have no idea what the plants are. One of them, for the last 3 months or so, fruit flies just come out of the
probably
the
poison
soil.
Ivy. Oh,
it might be. But this plant just like these little fruit flies just come out of the soil, and I've completely unpotted the plant, like washed out the roots, replanted it in new soil, and put it back.
Okay.
And it just keeps getting these fruit flies. So I've kind of done some research, and found out that it's pretty common, especially with that plant, because you got to keep it pretty wet. Like it's not a cactus. You actually have to water this one.
Yeah.
So it's been a problem. So I told Teresa I was going to get rid of it, and I was going to start building my own bonsai trees instead.
Okay, I was going to say, was it a bonsai tree? Because that's where you started.
No.
So what kind of
it's this weird
what kind
looking
of plant is it?
I don't know. I don't know what kind of plant any of my plants are. Some are green and spindly, and some are. It's got these big like spade shaped leaves. It gets really tall. So I don't know what kind of tree it is, or plant it is.
So,
but we do have.
I'm confused. Hold on. I'm confused because you started out. Now, is this plant producing fruit flies, or they're just fruit flies are attracted to it?
I think it's because it's like one of them soft stem, like milky plants.
Okay.
And it's got to be wet in the soil all the time. I think it attracts flies, or I don't know.
Okay. Like it's not growing flies. They're not coming. Okay.
I don't think biology works that way. But
that would be amazing.
But I did, and I could tie this back into reselling.
Okay.
So I have
I like it.
Dogwood trees all the way down my driveway, and they flower twice a year. And then I have a weeping willow that we planted when we moved here. When sad story, one of our lab died when we moved here. So we planted a weeping willow tree, and then we call that our dead dog tree. That's where we plant the dead dogs.
Did you
not that there's a lot of dead
with the dead dog? You know how you put like a fish, down in the hole when they plant, like the Indians when they plant. So you've got.
So we got a little statue of a dog out there sitting under that tree. So we've got the dogwoods and the weeping willows. So we figured out you could take cuttings off of both those kind of trees and just throw them in like a jar of water, and they'll grow roots, and you can regrow them. And both of those trees you can shape and prune and make your own bonsai trees out of. Now, so I decided I was going to do that to get rid of this fly-infested plant because it gives me a pot free. But then I also figured out by researching a little bit, if you take cuttings off those weeping willow trees and you throw them in a glass of water and get them rooted out, you can sell those on eBay.
Really?
Really. They're like $10 a pop. You can sell them on eBay. And I got a whole tree full of them. I could just keep making them. Like I could produce my inventory.
That's self-sustaining business right here, as long as the tree is healthy. And you should, this has potential.
I never considered growing my own inventory before, but.
And see, what you need to do then is pull on people's heartstrings too. You make up a little card that talks about your puppy that passed away.
It's the dead dog weeping willow tree.
And then people want to buy your product a little more because it has a little bit of meaning. I think you've got something right there. Of course, now everybody's going to be going out and cutting down weeping willow.
Oh, we gave away the secret, didn't we?
You did. You know what? I guess I'll have to look. I have seen some yard sales where people have plants, but I guess it's not
every
something...
single week we find a new yard sale with a new plant. And if it's a plant I don't have or a cool looking plant, I usually talk myself into buying one, which sucks because it's always the first sale you go to. Yeah. So you have to drive around for 6 hours with a plant and try not to spill it.
Trying not to spill dirt all over the back of the cart.
So that's our weird story for the day. That's how bonsai trees relate to reselling.
So see,
I get to ditch a fly infested plant, and I get
now I feel a little
break
bit
into a new
this plant.
sourcing. Well, that plant's just going in the dump. There's good news. It is summertime. I could put it on the porch, but when winter hits, it's dead, and it's never coming back in.
Yeah.
Like, I'm never bringing it back in. I've tried everything. They've got stuff you could spray in the dirt to kill the flies or repel the flies, but it doesn't work. Like, I've tried everything on that.
Now, you sure you just don't have like a bunch of old fruit laying around, like in the house?
Pretty sure.
Like some old bananas or some peaches.
That's what they're like. They're those tiny little fruit fly looking things, and they just buzz around your face close enough to where you can't get them without like smashing yourself. They fly up your nose and in your ears. Yeah, they're annoying. I hate that plant now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going out. It's going outside here shortly
in the summer. Yeah, don't make it suffer right away. Don't make it suffer. I don't know.
We'll put it outside so it could grow during. It's going to have a natural death when winter hits next year.
Is there a plant group? Is there a plant group like PETA? Like, if you were just taking your dog outside and leaving it in the middle of winter, like PETA or Sarah McLaughlin would show up at your house. And is there one for plants? Like if you're just like growing plants and killing them?
I don't know. I hope not. If they are, I hope they're not watching this. I was just kidding about everything.
Yeah. Cory's not. Oh, but so are you okay? Are you going to try that? Are you going to try to cut off some starts from your weeping willow and sell them on eBay? I think that's the underlying question. You pass along the knowledge.
I think we have 9 different kinds of trees on the property right now. So I think I'm going to go look to see which ones I could take saplings from and make starters out of.
Okay.
And look them up and see if there's any worth doing that with. And if there are.
Is there some special way that you have to ship them to keep them from, I don't know, drying out or dying?
I would think you could. Well, we've ordered trees online before. So usually they just come in like a poly so they can't leak. And you wrap them in like paper towels and wet the paper towels and then shove them in a poly. And off they go.
Interesting.
So they're not hard to ship.
We don't have any good trees on my property. Just there's like a few maple trees is all. That's pretty much
the cool news is once we bring them in the house, if we bring in enough cuttings, the whole front of our house is just windows. So we basically our living room's like a greenhouse all year long.
Yeah.
So I keep my supply through the winter as well.
Do you have those big plant racks with like the multi-levels and grow lights?
I have a couple plant racks. I need more. I need to get some like curtain rods that go across the big windows in the living room and just do the hanging planters.
So that's what you're going to be in search of this yard selling season. That's coming up.
Planting supplies.
It's coming up is maybe some grow lights. Well, you don't need the grow lights because you got all the windows. No. But looking for plant racks. So hey, if anybody out there has plant racks for sale, throw it in the comments there. Cory will. I was saying yard sale season. Yard sale season is coming up
on us
really quick. It is in the first part of April. Here's kind of when things really start to get going, which I'm going to self-promote a little bit. If you do happen to follow my channel and my Ken versus 10 show, I am, which is normally on Thursdays at 11 a.m. Eastern. I am backing that up starting this week to Wednesdays at noon. Wednesdays at noon will be Ken versus 10. So down at the bottom there, I have we have our links, how to contact Cory and I, that goes through what the LinkedIn, Linktree. Oh, see here, we're still talking about plants. Linktree has
it all full circle here.
And you can get to my channel, you can get to Grams and Pop's channel, you can get to, I don't know, any way to contact us. And then our mailing address, if you would need to get something to us, is down there.
If you need to send us some weird saplings or something like starter trees, if you could send them there.
Maybe if you have the cure for fruit flies and Cory's like crazy plant that he has there, maybe he'll keep it. Maybe he'll.
If there's any plant people in here, give me ideas because I've tried everything.
I'm gonna get T-shirts made up. You know,
See, like
save the
one of them's
plant.
right. Like
Cory
literally,
hates
we said that, and one of
vegetation.
them's flying around here.
Cory anti-vegan. You know, I'm gonna put all kinds of
Anti-vegan.
I don't know. I'll come up with some sort of a slogan. I need to come up with a slogan for the campaign I'm in right now with my
What
running
campaign?
mate who really doesn't
Oh, with
know.
Dan.
Yeah, Dan and Demand promo 2024. I
Wouldn't it
forget
just
even
be
what
like,
show
woohoo?
it was. Woohoo! Yeah.
There you go. That's the campaign slogan.
Dan is it's so infectious when Dan does that on like his what woohoo. Yeah, somebody had suggested, I forget what show it was in, what chat. Maybe it was the one where he was the elected not elected, but voted the best reseller.
Yeah.
And the best reseller in the YouTube world anyway. Shanna, Simply Shenanigans, had put in their hashtag, you know, Dan for president. So I threw my hat in the
Is that where this came from?
Yes, that's where it came from.
Well,
Dan
the
for
good news
president.
is if he loses, he could still be the self-diagnosed president.
That's true. This is true. And so Demand promo 2024. I would, you know, at first I thought, I'd be a great campaign manager for somebody. But who needs a campaign manager when you've got woohoo? So I don't know.
It's pretty compelling stuff.
So I threw my hat in the ring there. And speaking of hats in the ring, Cory, we'll end the show. Should I do it with the big pink floppy one or the
Nope. In the spirit of Easter, I'm not touching that joke.
So I'll keep this hat on. And happy Easter, everyone. Happy April Fool's Day. And Cory, anything else you got for today? Happy
Easter. That's it.
Yeah. We will get back to the topic. Yeah, we had like a 3-part series that's going to be like a 4-part with no topic in the middle or something.
Yeah, it's coming back around. Topic. We took an Easter break.
We're gonna. Yeah, there you go. We're on our Easter break.
We had a fruit fly issue we had to discuss, and that was important.
Sometimes things, you know, there is more to life than just reselling.
We did a reselling topic, though. We did talk about, we gave them a new item for sourcing. Plants are something that sells. There you go.
Perfect. I love it. So yeah, we'll get back to that. We'll get back to that topic next week. Enjoy your week, everybody, and we will see you next time on the Reseller Clickbait Podcast.